Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Aston, and this is my channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I hope you find this video entertaining and informative enough to hit the subscribe button and change the notification bell to all so you don't ever miss the release of one of my videos. If this is not your first time in, welcome back. I appreciate your support. It means the world to me, and I probably wouldn't still be doing this without any of you. So, we are in the middle of the 28 Days of Men's Jewelry channel, where I challenge myself to come up with a piece of jewelry for men, gender neutral, and also to demystify that men's jewelry is hard to make. So we are on day 15 of the 28 days, where it's the 4 weeks leading up to Father's Day. I felt that was appropriate time to have a challenge like this. So let's get down to the mat and see what it is that we're going to be making today. Okay, what we are going to do is we are going to use some simple tube beads, and we are going to use some copper findings that I created. Now, I made two different ones so that I could make sure it would fit on the 3mm leather that we're going to use, but these ones are of a greater twist, like they're twisted a lot more than the other option, which are these. I think these are beautiful because I think they look like a Celtic knot. I love these just as much, but with this being a masculine design, well, let's see what we think when we put it up next to the bone. So again, these are bone beads. My lovely husband drilled them out so they would accommodate the 3mm leather. We are going to be using Leather Cord USA today and always on this channel, for this is the best leather I have ever worked with. Hold on one second. I have somebody scratching at the door. Okay, they stopped scratching at the door. Not sure who it was, which one it was, but yes. Okay, back to this. Leather Cord USA is the only cord that I use for all of my jewelry making needs. It's what my preference is. So that's why I choose to use them. So here we are with some 3mm cord. As I said, these are some bone beads that came on a graduated strand that I purchased from Randy at Thunder Horse Descendants. You can see that there were all different shapes. He didn't have to drill much to get them to the 3mm hole, but he did have to do some. So what we're going to do is we are going to thread on our first bead, the smaller one. And then I think, let's see, which one do I like next to it better? That one? Oh, that's just smart. Okay, so then if I use that one, do I want to? Let me see what that looks like when we put the large bead on. I truly have not decided, you guys. This isn't like that. Is so handsome looking. I love it. Okay, so I think we're gonna go with the 2. So we're gonna add on 2 more on the other side of the large bone bead. We're gonna put the other small bone bead on, and the end of that will fit in between those two things. You know what though? I talked about it, but I didn't do it on these ones. Let me just give them a little squish real quick to make sure that they are stronger and will hold their shape. So that one's done. There's just 4 of them. So let's do that real quick. And I'm not pressing real hard. And then I'm switching from one half to the other half of that jump ring. And I'm just going to squish it ever so slightly because I really don't want to alter the shape of these jump rings either. You see, I just go just enough. Just enough. Here, I'll show you the difference between that one and that one. It's not much. It's just ever so flatter. But it's also much stronger just because I just did this quick little press down with these. Good to go. Alrighty, let's make sure that none of the joins came apart. That one did ever so slightly. Let's check the rest of these, both for consistency and because we don't want any pokies. And like I said, I will more than likely put these in my tumbler for like future use, but this is good for me just how it is right now. There's no scratch to them or anything like that. So we'll put them on. And there we go. Okay, guys. I think that this is an amazing bracelet. Or it could be a necklace. I said necklace because you could do either. If you were to do this, it would be a necklace that just kind of hits right here for them. I can't think of it. Décolletage, I think that little space is called. I don't remember. But if you were going to do that, if you were going to do this as a bracelet, that's where you would want to be. Since we're not, we're going to use it as a bracelet. I'm going to bring it down here. Now, when I asked my husband to drill these holes a little bit bigger, I asked him and gave him a piece of leather because I didn't want them to move too much. Now I'm wondering if because I didn't want to put one of these. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's not my needle nose pliers. So let me see if I like it or if it's going to bother me to put it on here. Like I just said, it's not really necessary. What if I did that and I have an even better idea? Now I have to get rid of that because I already stretched it. What if, oh, oops. What if I did? Ooh, then it would make sense for there to be a black on the outside. Okay, so do we like it that way? Or do we want two black with the copper in the middle? Oh, see, that's why you don't want to stretch them too much. I will, of course, get completely different ones for the final piece, as I don't want somebody to get that. Okay, so do we like that? Or do we like this? We could even just do black, copper, black, copper, black. And then on the outside, we could just do one copper and one black. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So as not, well, we got to pull them off. Off now. Okay. I'm going to throw these two away because I don't want to take any chances that they have weakened and will come off because it's not fun to get that phone call from a customer that, hey, I just bought this. Why did it break? Da, 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 da. And I like to be able to confidently say it is either a material issue or something was not put on correctly. I do try to let everybody know that, they've got to be easy on their jewelry. Okay, that should be enough for now. Alrighty, so we are going to start with black. Then we're going to add on the copper. We'll add on another black. I am going to have to tamp down some more copper things, though. I didn't even think about that. Oh, did I just break it? No. Like that, and then we can add, do we want that up against? No, we want the copper up against. like that. Yes, that is so cool looking. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna go squish some more jump rings. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have done all of my jump rings. So we are going to, now that we're on the inside of this, we're going to use 3 with the black silicone in between them. Again, do not stretch this more than is necessary. And we're going to put 3 with 2 silicone spacers in between them. Grab the larger bone bead, pull that in. You guys, so awesome. I can't decide if I want to do it as a bracelet or if I want to just make it into like a collar necklace. It's so cool. I just did a collar necklace using the Sam's bead box. Haven't released it yet. And then I saw Becky did a collar necklace. She did do it differently than I did, but it's very similar. And I was like, I can't release that now. And she's like, no, please do, please do. They're different. Do it. I'm like, okay. Anyways, back to what we are for sure doing, and that is this bracelet. Maybe slash necklace. I don't know. But let's see this. Oh, I'd ask my husband, but he's taking a nap. Darn it, man of white. What do you guys think? Oh, that is just so cool looking. I love it. This one might become mine. Okay, I think I'm going to keep it. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Okay. I think I want it to be a necklace. Here's the other quandary, you guys, that I'm up against right now. And I have to move these all down. I haven't fully decided yet. So I'm like being easy on it. I don't know. It's such a nice bracelet. But would it also be such a nice necklace? Huh. The other thing is that I do not currently have any antique copper cordon. So I'm going to have to wrap this, myself using some of this, and this will also be what is used to attach it to the findings at the end. So that's the other thing I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, guys, I think we're just going to do this as a bracelet. Okay, so here is our twisted. This is 24 gauge wire. Sorry, I'm looking for my clippers. I'm going to cut off, I think, 3 inches. Let's just go with 4. I hope I'm not wasting the twisted copper wire. I really like it. Okay. All I'm going to do is take this and do a standard wrapped loop with it. Like that. Grab my flush cutters. Or not flush cutters. Grab my bail step making pliers. Get this out of the way so my camera's not going crazy on you guys. And we're going to go up around the end of the second step. Put that up straight. And then you're going to take that, you're going to support the wire and either using your hand or pliers or a combination of both. I'm going to twist that twice, and I like to cut my wire off to the side rather than the front or the back. I like the way that that looks, but by all means, do what you prefer better. That's the joy of making your own jewelry. You get to decide. Okay. So if I put this on, that is more than enough leather right there. And actually, it should go a little bit further over. Yeah. So let's go ahead and measure this. See where we're at. We are just under 2¼ inches. So let's do that on the other side. It's like right there. And we're going to cut our leather. Then we are going to take our wrapped loop apparatus. We are going to hold it with the loop right at the end. Oh, I forgot to do something. Duh. Now that we have our wrapped loop, we need to bend this wire this way. That way, we can put the end of our leather right there, and then we can wrap this around the leather. And I didn't get my first wrap quite up as high as I would, but I'm going to fix that right about now at my second wrap. So I'm going to tamp that down just like that. And if I want to come cut this leather at a later date and time, I can. I'm just going to keep wrapping around the end of this leather. And if this is not your definition of easy peasy, I apologize. It is mine. Oh, see that? I said that. There goes my karma. It just like popped right off the leather. I thought I'd rocked it tight enough. There we go. Squish them up as much as you can on both sides, the inner and outer side, and then you can kind of squish a little bit, and that is what will hold this leather for you. Now, just like when I do a regular wrapped loop, I'm not totally mad at the leather peeking through, but that's me. Obviously, if it's your bracelet, that's up to you. I'm going to use my Knipex cutters, which I should tell you guys, these things cut, the tip of these Knipex cutters cut through these and the tighter twisted one like butter. They're great. They're made, as Linda from Gumnut has told us, for Sparkies, which are electricians, and they have like the max cut unit. So I think this one is 16 or 14 gauge. I believe it's 16 gauge that you can cut with these, so which is amazing. Okay, now we're gonna grab our other side, and we are also gonna cut 4 inches off of this one. And I just cut wire without. It's all right. It'll be okay. And on this end, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a little hook. So I'm trying to think the best way to accomplish that here. I think I'm just going to get my like itty bitty round nose pliers. And I'm going to just do a very, very little tight spiral right here. Oh, come on. Oh, sorry if I'm out of frame. Okay, very, very tight. Tight and small as you can get it. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Very small. Then we're going to grab our 6-step bell making pliers, and I think I'm going to do my hook on a 4. So I'm going to face the little loop away from the mandrel I want to wrap around. And I also want to give myself enough room to wrap, and I'm not quite sure where. There we go. So there, we have our hook. Now that we have our hook, I want to go in and I am going to smash this quite a bit harder than I did the jump rings because I want the flattened look for this part. And my hook is not happy about it. Hold on one second. I just got to get this last little edge, the little one, fix that little loop because one of the two pieces of wire popped up. There we go. Our hook is nice and flattened, if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So it's quite a bit sturdier than it was just a few minutes ago. Again, all you're going to do is come to the end of your wire, but first you have to bend your wire. So I'm going to come right below where that hook is, but I'm going to go squish that little bit real quick because that's the only part that wasn't squished. We are going to bend our wire to make it parallel so we can then lay the hook. Wait, did I do that wrong? So if it's closing, no, that's right. That's a really big hook though. Do I fix it? Will I be able to live with it? Probably not. Okay, so that's my rule. If I'm going to want to fix it later, then it's not something I want to redo. Plus, I just saw this, which this little loop right here is what goes around a thicker gauge wire to hold it in place while the drill is spinning said wire. Which, you guys, I have a video on how to do that. Just go to, I think it's in the wire wrapping area, but I think this will be really cute. I might turn it in, squish it just ever so slightly so it becomes an oval. We did the last one on the 4, I believe. Was it the 4? Or was it the 3? I guess I could just check. I'm going to guess it was the 3 or the 4, I mean. So I'm going to go and just come up ever so slightly. I'm then going to wrap my hook. That is a much more appropriate sized hook for this bracelet. I'm going to want to kink back just a little bit so it's like that. And then just like before, I'm going to go through and I'm going to squishy this using the box joint of my bail making pliers rather than pulling out my bench block. Now, if you would prefer to pull out your bench block, by all means, please do, because this is the way that I do it, but it doesn't have to be the way that you do it. And I will never tell you that my way is right or wrong and that you should only do it my way, because in fact, I like to encourage my viewers to go watch 3 or 4 different content creators doing the same technique, because oftentimes it's a little bit of this one and a little bit of that one and medium bit of this one, and that's what works out best for you and makes the technique something you don't dread when you want to use it. Okay. So we are going to come back to our leather. And we know this end bit is fiddly. Always is. I should probably put that up higher. I might have to squish this hook up a little bit. But if I could get around just once. There we go. And because this is the clasp part, I probably should have done this on the other side, but I am pulling much tighter on this one than I did on the other side, which I probably should have done and will probably go and fix after the fact. And then how many twists? I have 5 on this side, so I need to do at least 2 more. Ugh. And then you can kind of scooch, or you can't scooch your wire around, because I did something and I got it good and tight this time because the wire is not slipping. We will do this again, and we might just make another loop so that, and just use an antique copper clasp. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this hook off because it was way too big anyways. Cut that the wrong way so it's not flush. Okay. I think I'm just going to make another wrapped loop real quick. I don't know that I just gave myself, I did not give myself enough wire to do a wrapped loop with. There we go. That's a bit better. Straighten it out. Itty bitty loop. Don't need to go around too many times. We're going to be wrapping the rest of it. So this is just to make the hook or the loop that much stronger. There we go. Why is this not? What happened here? There we go. Okay. Got our little loop. Though every time we try to tuck this wire, it wants to go haywire. Literally. Haywire. You guys probably haven't seen any of this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for me since it wasn't really going my way. Okay, so we just need to get this to the end of our leather. I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. 10-minute video. And I had to go make it difficult for myself. So this needs to come up and be center at the end of the leather, but not quite there yet. Now I should be able to pull this a little bit tighter. I'm trying to figure that out. Okay. Like I said, you're going to want to give it a little squish. Just to keep it in there. And then we're going to grab the jump ring for this side, and the other side we will also need a jump ring for, but I want to use the bigger ones so that they're stronger. And then I need antique copper clasp. I'm gonna grab the bigger one. I have a couple different sizes in this little set, but I'm gonna go with that one. And I'm also gonna go with the antique copper jump ring. Sorry if this is a little fiddly. That's not antique copper. That's the or is it? No, that's antique bronze. This one is antique copper though. Okay. Sorry if this one was a little bit fiddly and I had some mistakes. I like to leave them in there because oftentimes I have learned more from the mistake and how they fix it or pivot, as I like to say, than I do just watching the normal technique. So sorry, things are not always this complicated around TT's trinkets and treasures. I just think this wire was too thin and wasn't going to work for more than just wrapping around the leather. So it can't be part of the clasp. So there we go. I'm in love with this necklace, you guys. I just love the way that it looks. I love the copper up against the bone. I like the silicone spacers in between the copper to give it a little bit more definition. I like the reddish brown leather that it's all on. And I like it because my hubby helped me by drilling these out. So that's always nice. So here we go, guys. You can see it's nice and sturdy. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back with more men's jewelry. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, again, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and change the bell notification to all so you don't ever miss a future video of mine. And leave a comment. If there's anything that you guys would like to see me make, please tell me. This is 28 days and this is day 15. So we have quite a few days left. So just let me know and I will do my best to do so. Until then, everybody have a wonderful day. And as always, happy beading.